Hey, good morning, everybody. The trigger warning, I'm going to talk a little bit about child abuse today. So if you don't need that in your head right now, scroll by. I do think it's an important topic to talk about. And so definitely come back when you're in a better mental space. Um, I'm bringing this up now, although kids have not been in this school for a little bit over a year now. Um, but this is one of the reasons that we transferred them out of that school. So when you talk about threats and physical violence, they often go hand in hand. So one of the things that was happening at this school was in different classrooms, they had named sticks, so or rulers that they would hit kids with in their hands or uh, I think generally inside their hands. But um, the sticks had names, and so our sons came home and said, they have a few students in the class who, when they did something wrong, they would get like hit in their hand with Bob, and so what that means is that one, even though our kids were not hit, they see the violence being perpetrated on the bodies of other people like them, and this does have a significant mental impact. And it was used in the past. If you ever hear about a whipping boy, in the past, white slave owners would have a black slave about the same age as their child. And when the child did something wrong, they would beat the black slave so that their child could see the suffering of the black slave, although it was not inflicted onto their body. And so even if you don't directly hit a child, you can inflict mental distress and trauma on them by beating someone that looks like them. The next thing is the teachers were transferring the ownership of the violence onto the stick by giving that stick personhood, giving it a name. And so Bob, you're not going to tell the student, oh, I'm going to beat you for doing this. You can say, you need Bob, or do I need to call Bob? Or I think Bob is going to have to talk to you about what you're doing. And we see this historically, like people just naming things. Mr. Forbes at SAC, for example, had a stick called Black Beauty. There might have been multiple sticks over time, but Black Beauty itself gained a personhood, a mythology around it. Was it a whale bone wrapped in electrical tape? Was it a wooden dowel? Was it a piece of rebar? And so these things can gain personhood, gain an entityship through the anthropomorphizing of them. And so these things are all significant ways of mental abuse, physical abuse, and control that's being inflicted on our students day to day in the Bahamas. And finally, after we found out about Bob, we had a meeting with the school administration. And then, now, just yesterday, our sons come to us and tell us, well, after you had that meeting with them, they called both of us in the office and we got riled out because we told you about Bob. So now, this is more than a year later, but they're recalling this as something where if you're not doing something wrong, there's never, ever a time that you should call students and tell them, don't tell your parents what we did. If you are doing what is right, if you are following a handbook, a guidebook, a standard of care, if you are following an expressed delivery of service to the children of the parents who have put their children in your trust, there's no way you should ever have to call someone's children into your office and tell them, listen, don't tell your daddy, don't tell your mommy what we did to you or what we do inside the classroom. That's trash. That's nonsense. So I ain't calling the people name on this, but if you know, and you're on Grand Bahama Island, And if you meet with me, I'll tell you exactly who it is. But um, we have to be really careful how we take care of other people's kids and how we communicate with our own. So even though our children are very comfortable telling us things, it took a long time for this message to come out. Go and tell your children today, if anyone ever tell them that they're not supposed to tell you something, that person is wicked. That person is the devil. All right? Love y'all. I hope y'all have a good day, and I hope y'all don't have to go through this with y'all children. And I know a lot of us went through this in our lives already, but as adults, we have a standard of care that we are going to deliver now. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed that little bit of science and perspective. Catch you later.